The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
From the streets of Nassau to the farthest family islands, local government was designed to put power in the hands of the people. 3 decades later, how much has really changed? Well, tonight, we hear from the leaders of the local government department, the minister himself, and the department's director, as we examine the true impact of local government in the Bahamas. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. Welcome to a special hour looking at local government. Has local government made life better, or is there still much work to be done? Good evening to my guests. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you both here, Local Government Minister as well as Works Minister Clay Sweeting and Director of Local Government Donald Roll. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanique.
Good evening. Good evening, Bahamas.
It's good to have you both here.
Yep.
Pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get started. If you had to describe the single biggest success of local government over the past 3 decades, what would it be and why?
Shanique, I think I'll take that one. So local government over the last 30 years has developed tremendously from its inception in 1996 to, under this administration, reimagining what local government would look like for the people in the family islands. So for me, I think that the largest impact would be the last Local Government Act, which was passed, which creates an opportunity for local government members to raise money. It decentralizes a lot of the challenges and issues that was centralized from New Providence, and it brings government closer to the people. So for me, I think the last act helps to find a niche, a proper niche, for the local councillors and the administrators in the family islands.
How has that been? How impactful has that been? I remember when it was passed and you came here, you talked about it, you were very happy, as well as many of the local government practitioners, about how that sort of frees them from central government and give them even more autonomy. How has that been sort of playing out since then?
Right. So they've taken the role head on, and they've been able to work within their communities to develop a lot. We've also increased the budget for local government over the past 5 years and under this administration for the first time in over 25 years. And they've been able to actually mold their communities in the way they would hope them to be. Of course, there's always more work to be done, and I think that's why we speak about progress and the progress we made and what we want to continue in the family islands. But they've really taken a hold of what it means to be a local council and to be a part of local government.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Roll, if you had to describe it, how would you say local government has morphed in the last 30 years, and also perhaps the biggest single success in your view?
I think what the ministers say, I will agree with. The Local Government Act of 2024 is giving the council and the township now the authority to collect funds and to look at partnering with other organizations, non-profit organizations, to help build their communities.
What is the role, initially 30 years ago, what is the role of local government, and has local government, and even though I know there's a new sort of set of rules and guidelines since 2024 with the new law and the amended law, but is it really taken root? Is it really being this impactful, and what it is that people need to see, sort of the power in their own hands, decision making into their own hands, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so local government, and I think we've spoken about this many times in the House of Assembly and on talk shows, that legislation is only as good as it's enacted, right? And local government, the act, is only as good as the people that become a part of the movement in the Family Islands. So if persons don't take advantage of the opportunity to play a role in governing your island, then that becomes a challenge. But you will see communities that really believe in local government and really believe what it means to be a family islander and to be a part of change. So you will see in some of these communities where the campaign to become a local council member is very competitive, and they campaign and because they want to be a part of change, and local government isn't meant to be politicized. So you'll see some communities that under either administration they thrive because they're found ways to be a part. They know what they want to do in their communities, and they utilize the resources afforded to them to make that happen.
If you were to point, and both of you, you Minister as well as you Mr. Roll, to
I gotta let Mr. Roll take this one.
Absolutely.
I know where you're going.
Well, all right. To a community where local government is, like it's being done right. It's absolutely the vision and the idea being carried out and experienced and seen every day. Where would that be? And what's being done?
I think what you're trying to do is put me on the spot. I have 33 districts, but I will say most of them, but I think when you look at the Hope Town and Central Abaco, and they stand out. They stand out. But all of the districts are abiding and doing what is needed in their community, and they are following the laws and policies and procedures. But my opinion, when you look at those districts in terms of local governance, I will look at Hope Town and Marsh Harbor.
Mm-hmm. Now let's look at performance and reform of local government. I imagine the amended law of 2024 assists a lot with reform and performance and grading that, and maybe a recall if those officers and elected officials are not impactful and effective.
I think what is happening is we look at a system that we grades these. We put a grading on these administrators. Also, it's filtered down to the council and the way they operate. So we monitor those persons with regards to the way they operate and the way they are abiding by the policies and laws that governs them.
And how do you measure that?
Well, there's many different ways of measuring it. It's based on the initiatives that you put within your communities and the way you handle and be accountable to the funds that the government provides for you, to subsistence, and also the impact that you have on your community.
And I guess how you can shape the forward movement of that community,
the economic
your vision,
movement, the economic
and
movement.
now your fundraising abilities and being able to attract investors and that type thing.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Now, should poorly performing, and have you had to do this, especially as Family Island communities are looking different now? They're looking differently. More is being required of not just the central government figure, but even the local government figure. Our communities has poorly performing officers been sort of pulled aside and say, listen, get it together or else. Because this community is in need of certain things, or you should be leading in this area, and you're not.
Yeah. Like I said, we have a monitoring unit at the head office here in Nassau, and they monitor, like I said before, the finances, the way they are operating, and we look at the culture and whatever activities they have in their districts, the initiatives, and like you said before, the way they interact with foreign investors. And their duty now is not only to depend on central government to look for foreign injection in terms of economics, they are also mandated to go out and do things like that also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's look at youth involvement, because local government is now really kind of become so much more. In terms of the elected officials, you're now having youth involvement, I guess, to have as a feeder system and to get more people interested on various levels in Family Island communities. So let's talk about that. Can you speak more towards the role of the local government junior councils in engaging in youth and their voice, their presence in communities?
Yeah, so the Junior Local Council is national, right? So we also have schools in New Providence that are a part of this program, along with the Family Island districts. And what this does, it helps to train them and show them the electoral process of local government. So they start with nomination, the same as local government elections. They go through that whole process. They have election day, they have the campaign component. Then after elected, then they are responsible for programs that tailors to their community. So it's monitors local council, but also a part of like what member of parliaments would do, right? So you know, I started in local government at a young age, and then became eventually the minister for local government. And this helps to highlight what they can do within their communities. Not only that, the local council, junior councils have a competition. So those, whether it's first, second, or third prize, are awarded money for their community.
What does that competition usually look like?
So they, whatever project that the council does within their community, they provide their accounting on the project, how they developed it, how they work together, and what that project means to the community. Then it is judged, and then they're awarded a prize. I think Inagua has done well each time. I think they won a few years ago. Last year they came second. So Inagua Junior Council has been one that has made a movement throughout the country on the work. And also Grand Bahama has done an extremely good job in that regard.
How is the local government junior council, I guess, program showing up in New Providence, though? I mean, because the islands, I know, they do what they do. They feel more involved, more empowered, maybe to act and have a voice. But in New Providence, that's sort of overshadowed by so many things. Yeah.
Well, the local government junior council here in Nassau, we have two schools. We have the school, what's the name of it now? We have two schools here in Nassau, and they are really Anatole Rogers and L.W. Young. They are really doing a good job. And I must say, I have been in contact with those ladies and those young gentlemen, and they get the authority, and they have the impact, and they have the vision for future leadership. I think local government junior council is all about creating young minds and preparing future generations of leadership.
And I also want to add to that, Shanique. We spoke a lot over the last week when we debated the education bill, right? And there's a part in that legislation that speaks about a form of proper educational governing for special needs children, right? So one of those schools that is a part of the program is a special needs school in Beacon School in Grand Bahama that also plays a role in local governance, and exciting for the department and for the ministry to be a part of what they're doing there with that as well.
Now, of course, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to local government and where it has its tentacles, from tourism, development, agriculture, and fisheries. Of course, small business support. You heard about that they are now empowered to go after and seek investors as well to help Family Island communities further develop and evolve and to become what they're becoming. I imagine they also have a role to play in how that development looks, how the development shows up, and how their Family Island progresses, yet maintaining its authenticity. I'm sure that's a part of what it is. Also, as you know, Clay Sweeting here is the Member of Parliament for South and Central Eleuthera. We have done a temperature check on South and Central Eleuthera. You have been graded by my panel. Minister Sweeting, I'll tell you what they had to say when we come back, because when we come back, we will just insert a little bit here, some of what's happening in South and Central Eleuthera, including the power issues, the ongoing power issues, what's happening there. This is Beyond the Headlines. It's a special show this evening on local government celebrating 30 years in the Bahamas, and also a little bit about our minister here and his constituency that he is seeking re-election for in the upcoming general election. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're back in a moment.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Uh-oh, luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. It's big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at that. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Help! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, presses you, and entertains you 24/7.
My name is Charles Wesley Gould. My organic farm is Nice Layers Organic Farm. I have 230 birds up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now, we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
In a world of imagination, even a little mess can be part of the adventure. But for a truly royal snack, we need a clean slate. A few drops of Penalin dish liquid makes even dried-on paint disappear like magic. Penalin dish liquid, powerful cleaning in 3 fresh scents.
Spring into savings at Grand Bahama Tiles. For a limited time, enjoy 20% off store-wide and bring fresh new life into your home. From your kitchen to your bathroom to your bedroom, discover colors and styles that inspire every space. Come on in, find the perfect fit, and take it home today. Join us for this exclusive 3-day sale, March 31st through April 2nd. Visit Grand Bahama Tiles today and refresh your home for less.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
your say, your vote, your choice.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It is a special show this hour on this Monday evening. Focus in on local government. Local government is celebrating its 30th anniversary here in the Bahamas. The Minister, Clay Sweeting, is here with his director, Donald Roll, and they are speaking about some highlights and also a reformed bill, I guess, and laws as it relates to local government as they continue to want to decentralize what happens, especially for Family Island communities where residents there and elected officials, the chief councillors and the like, can be able to determine the path and the future of their own Family Island communities. Well, speaking of Family Island communities, in this segment, I'm going to spend some time speaking with Clay Sweeting on his re-election bid for South and Central Eleuthera. I think it was over a week ago that Temperature Check did a temperature check on South and Central Eleuthera. And I can tell you this, Clay Sweeting, you would be very happy to hear this. I don't know if you saw that show or if anybody told you about it, but my panelists had South and Central Eleuthera leaning in your favor. And so let's just talk about what it is that you've been able to achieve. And there have been many opinions shared on this platform about you, about your tenure as Member of Parliament, about what you are doing and what you are addressing and what you are getting done. And so let's just talk about some of those things. Let's start first, though, with something that you've been plagued with really this entire term, and that is utility issues, in particular power issues. This weekend alone, I think you had marathon power outages in your constituency. Many residents reached out to Beyond the Headlines, seeking answers, wanting explanations, and wanting to know when is there going to be a more permanent fix to this. This weekend, this holiday weekend, you have 3 major festivals coming up set for Eleuthera. Among them, and I understand this might be the largest one, or perhaps they all are equally as big in terms of the amount of people attending, the Rock Sound Homecoming, and so many other festivals and sort of spring off those that offshoots from the main events that are happening this weekend. And so let's just talk about the issue that happened with the power this weekend. Before we get to I'll have you respond to what Temperature Check said about your tenure as MP. Can you?
Oh,
yes,
I thought you asked me a question.
Yeah, no, that was the question. It was a loaded one, but go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Shanique, and thank you for asking me that loaded question. But utilities in the Family Islands, especially Eleuthera, has been plaguing Eleuthera for decades. Let's start with that. This administration has done a lot to assess the challenges, but as a Member of Parliament, you don't run away from issues once they arise, and I've never done that. When the constituency was plagued with potholes, we paved more roads in Eleuthera than has ever been paved in history in one term. When you look at challenges with development in each community, we've done an excellent job of touching each community with millions of dollars in infrastructure, whether it be the cultivation center, whether it be the dock in Tarpon Bay, whether it be BTVI for the first time as a Family Island campus to be introduced in Greencastle. And I could go on and on with what we've done as an administration, what I've done as a Member of Parliament, and how I advocate. As a Member of Parliament, you're elected to advocate on behalf of the people, whether you're a government minister, whether you're just a Member of Parliament. So the same way as constituents were calling me last night in regards to the power issue, the same way I was calling BPL to get an update from them. I will say that BPL has done a lot of work in regards to the infrastructure, and over the past few months, there has been minimum to any disruptions in regards to electricity outages. I'm advised, and I think you were sent the press release as well on what the challenge happened yesterday, and it is frustrating, and you feel for the people you represent when you go 12 to 15 hours without electricity. Even if you've accomplished all of that, all of this stuff, you continue to work to ensure that the community, even though there's the lowest unemployment rate in Eleuthera's history, this is the most foreign direct investment Eleuthera has seen.
And because of that, you need to get. When I say the power issue must
right.
get in hand. I mean, you have unprecedented investments.
Right.
You have unprecedented, as you say, employment. I mean, so many firsts are there in South and Central Eleuthera right now, and so that must match, obviously.
Right. So I don't mind, right, that we have that problem to be able to, but we must ensure that the infrastructure with BPL is corrected, right? The difference in being a Member of Parliament in the Family Islands and being one in New Providence is that if the power goes off, the Member of Parliament is responsible, not Farmers Power and Light. So that's the difference, and I've always accepted that challenge. And, you know, we have solarization on the way. They've started to clear the land there with EA Energy in Hatchet Bay. They've done work in the Rock Sound generation plant. So, you know, it's a continued effort to ensure that the utilities match the amount of investment. We haven't had water challenges as frequent as they have been in the past. So there is a lot of work that's been done. So I don't want to negate the fact, even though we've had a challenge yesterday, I don't want to negate the fact that this administration has the people, and especially myself, have the best interests of the people in Central and South Eleuthera at heart. I've fought for them on their behalf, and I think they will tell you, if you go on the ground in Central and South, they will tell you that they have never seen a member of Parliament, whether on a good day, whether on a bad day, whether on a Sunday or a Monday, they've never seen a member of Parliament fight for them to ensure that they receive the most attention than any constituency in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Well, as I said here on this show on Temperature Check, you were seen quite favorably. Let's talk about the water projects that you have going on to get water, potable water for the first time in certain areas of the far south.
Right, so for the first time, John Millis and Bannerman Town, two small communities that I've seen forgotten in the past, will now have potable water for the first time that is tied into water and sewage lines. You'll also see other communities in other areas in Rock Sound now have water that's going to be installed along with the PPP project down there. So, you know, and so this is a part of the overall and overarching progress for Central and South Eleuthera. The plants in Waterford and Tarpon Bay and you know, Governor's Harbor has a million gallon tank now that could hold more water in case we have challenges with the RO plant. So you've seen a lot of investment in these areas that has been neglected. You know, just before last election, the foreign company cut off water because of a bill that was owed to them. You know, now the government has taken the bull by the horns and has purchased this foreign company to ensure that Bahamians own the production of water, so that never happens again.
You talked about the employment level and the fact that who wants to work is working.
Right.
In fact,
Ain't no
even
doubt
more
about
than one job, and you've provided training to match that so that people are able to upskill. I understand that there are bookings on the whether it's Airbnbs, whether it's the boutique hotels, however, bookings a year in advance. People, rental cars are booked out as well. Restaurants are booked out. Eleuthera is thriving. I mean, what do you think that secret ingredient is, as well as ongoing investment, by the way? What do you think that secret ingredient is, and how are you staying ahead of everything as its Member of Parliament?
I think it's investment in infrastructure. So for the first time in over 40 years, Governor's Harbor Airport has been redeveloped, right? You will see, to start this week, you'll see the work at Rock Sound Airport where they'll get a brand new runway. So, you know, people, you'll hear a person say, if you build it, they will come, right? So you've seen the amount of attention and investment in infrastructure and the national economic plan that we've had for Eleuthera in our blueprint for change and what we anticipate for it to be. And when you couple that with persons who's moving back home and who wants to invest in their communities, and you have a local government who wants to be a part of that change and that culture, you will see a community and a constituency that is now pivoted from a constituency, you know, in the 80s or in the 90s. The former administration said Eleuthera had had its time. Eleuthera was done. And it took us 30 years, and it took the right administration, it took the right Member of Parliament to grab the bull by the horns and say, look, Eleuthera has not had its time. Eleuthera is on the move. Eleuthera deserves the best, And that's just what you see happening.
Especially for South Eleuthera, and my family.
Your hometown.
My family called me. In fact, we just spoke earlier today and at the weekend. And as Minister of Works, I want you to address this because you mentioned the roads. I have heard people say you've not seen better roads in South Eleuthera ever, and now your road, the road paving project, I understand, is now headed north.
That's correct. So they've started paving in areas around Hatchet Bay. Around Rainbow Bay, around James Siston, and then you will see another shift where we'll anticipate to pave 10 miles north Eleuthera as well. So you'll see some paving in there. So, we're 5 years of the former administration paved 12 miles of road from the north end of Eleuthera to the south. We have already paved over 60 miles of road in the past 3 years, and the work is ongoing. So I'm excited to be a part of that change and that focus on Eleuthera, whether it's north. And we signed the preliminary works for Glass Window Bridge today as well. So we signed a contract for the preliminary works for Glass Window Bridge.
Talk about the vision for that, because I remember hearing, and we just heard a little bit about it, but there's a tourist center, obviously a tourist center, because people love the original structure as well, but obviously you're making a safer bridge because especially during storm time, but there's so much more that's going to be built around the experience.
Right, so this is the first bridge that will be managed by the Bridge Authority, and the new bridge will come over on the bank side, on the west side of the current bridge. It will be 16 feet higher, so as the waves come, they'll go under the bridge, and it also has a tourist center, a cultural experience, if you may, where artisans, whether it be straw market vendors, whether you see singers, whether you have a cultural heritage site or something that can bring people there. So this is more than a bridge. This is an escape for tourists. This is somewhere where locals can come and enjoy themselves. We have restaurants and all of that. So this is an exciting and reimagined Eleuthera.
Yeah, now that original glass window bridge structure, is that going to be a part of the experience as well?
It will be. It'll be a new structure put there to replace, to ensure that it's properly structurally sound. But that will remain, so it'll be kind of like a crossway, and that's where most of the cultural site will be constructed.
Yeah, so of course this evening, if you're just tuning in, this is a special broadcast of Beyond the Headlines. We are spending the hour here with Works and Local Government Minister Clay Sweeting, the Director in the Department of Local Government, Donald Roll, and they are really talking about the 30th anniversary, 30 years of local government here in the Bahamas, and how that's shown up, how that's empowered local family island communities, empowered even youth, who has now a youth council to get them involved, get them trained, get them understanding how local government works and how they can help steer things forward for them as well. When we come back, we are going to look. This weekend is a whole lot happening. Eleuthera is among the islands with tons of activities. In fact, 3 major festivals. Regattas are huge in the Bahamas among them. So I want to ask, when we come back, of the director and the minister about the growth of Family Island Regattas, how local government kind of manages that and ensures that those are maintained, remain authentic, but yet continue to grow and meet new needs and new interests of those who attend the junior sailing program we want to talk about, and the overall sailing programs. A whole lot that local government is responsible for, that local government oversees, and obviously the opportunities are endless with a new law that came in place in 2024. And so don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to pick up our discussion on 30 years of local government here in the Bahamas. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're back right after this.
Spring into savings at Grand Bahama Tiles. For a limited time, enjoy 20% off store-wide and bring fresh new life into your home. From your kitchen to your bathroom to your bedroom, discover colors and styles that inspire every space. Come on in, find the perfect fit, and take it home today. Join us for this exclusive 3-day sale, March 31st through April 2nd. Visit Grand Bahama Tiles today and refresh your home for less.
Play for fun, not for funds.
In the Bahamas, we play hard, but we live smart.
We love a little competition,
a little excitement, a little thrill.
And at Island Luck, gaming is all about entertainment.
Shared moments, celebrating the wins, and enjoying the experience.
The key is simple. Play for fun, not for funds.
When you set a budget before you start,
and know your limits, you stay in control.
And when you're in control, the game stays what it's meant to be.
Fun.
So play for fun, not for funds.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. I know it's a bit different this Monday evening, but that is because we have on this hour special program a look at local government celebrating 30 years in the Bahamas, its 30th anniversary. Joining me this evening are the Minister of Local Government and Works, Clay Sweeting, as well as the Director in the Department of Local Government, Donald Roll. Both gentlemen have been talking about local government, its growth, how it's sort of changed to meet the demands of modern-day Bahamas, modern-day Family Island communities, the youth involvement, and a whole lot more. In the second segment, if you were tuned in just before the break, I was speaking with Minister Sweeting on his tenure as Member of Parliament in South and Central Eleuthera, the work he's done, the work that's on tap. You heard him talk about a number of firsts that he was able to get done, and you're very proud with that work, huh?
There's always more work to do, but I think that comes with representation and wanting the best for your constituency. So, you're proud to be able to be a part of a government that's been able to accomplish this, but you always want to do more.
Yes, absolutely. And so he spoke about that. He spoke about a number of things and a number of firsts in his constituency as well. But we're going to get back to local government. I want to ask Director Roll. Let's talk about Family Island Regattas. Let's talk about the junior sailing program, which is a feeder system really for the senior program. And we know in these regattas how the competition is through the roof, and so many Bahamians are into sailing, into, I know boat building may be kind of, but it's still right there, very competitive. So many people are into these various forms of what makes the Bahamas this beautiful, unique experience, especially in our Family Island communities. Let's talk about the growth of Family Island Regattas, the fact that there's still an appetite for them.
Well, local government is responsible for Family Island Regattas, and the Bahamas can see where regattas came from under local government. We manage and do the logistics for more than 18 regattas and more than 50 to 60 festivals. When we talk about regattas, we talk about sailing. Sailing is our national sport. The government of the Bahamas has put their effort and their finances backing sailing. We talk about the best of the best regatta, which is considered the elite regattas in the Bahamas, here in Nassau at Montague.
Listen, that is an incredible regatta. I worked that 1 year broadcasting, and that's when I fell in love with regattas. And even though I worked Exuma before then, but and just to see the excitement, the energy, the excitement of the boats, those wonderful little small boats. I'm not sure what they're called and how they're manned, but what are they?
They are opties.
They just look good on the water.
Yeah.
Really awesome, yes.
Yeah, and when we talk about the best of the best, like you say, it is the what I call the deluxe of all the regattas, and we will have thousands and thousands of people there, Bahamians along with visitors.
Throughout the weekend, yes.
Throughout the weekend, from Thursday on to Saturday, and like I said before, the government is supporting regattas throughout the Bahamas. Every island now just about have their own regattas. Every island. So I think Exuma has about 5 to 6 regattas or even more. And we talk about the junior sailing. That's the feeder part of our junior sailors.
Yeah.
So David knows that's the major junior regatta here in New Providence. Those young guys and young ladies, we have sailors, male and female, and they're very competitive. They challenge the seniors when it comes to sailing.
It's also been introduced to schools, huh? Is it
yes.
schools in New Providence or just the Family Islands?
New Providence and throughout the Family Islands, because you have the sailing clubs now within these Family Islands who are bringing those sailors and boats to New Providence. I think next year the juniors, one of the major sailings supposed to be in Abaco. So it's what we are doing now is just we're trying to involve every island within the Bahamas with regards to our national sport. Festivals. Festival is, like I said before, is more than 50, 60. And the government of the Bahamas, once again, supports these festivals. And it's the economic boost to these Family Islands. So that's what local government is doing. That's what the Regatta Desk is doing. We're just not all about the district councils and those Family Islands. We are multi-talented, multitasking, to ensure that local government is known throughout the Family Islands, but not only for council and township, but our culture need to be on display.
Right.
Our sports need to be on display. What our food, whatever we do in the Bahamas must be displayed not only here in New Providence and the Family Islands, but we're looking to take it to the world, and that's important for us.
I think what's so impressive is that local government has been able to keep Family Island regattas interesting, top of mind, not just for the visitors, they love it, but Bahamians plan their holidays oftentimes around which island they're going to go to. Some of them even island hop. Yeah. It assists in building economies and providing those jobs that Minister Sweeting talked about.
Yes. And it also brings families together. You know, you're from Ilutra, you go back to Ilutra. You're from Exuma, you go back to Exuma. So it's almost like a family reunion. So it's like I said before, it's an economic boost for these family islands.
It absolutely is. It helps build economies. It certainly brings, it gives the boat builders and those who are in sailing an opportunity to show themselves and have bragging rights, and people love it. And then these regattas have so much more built around it. It's not just this, the action on the ocean, right, Clay?
Yeah. You know, and what it does too is it helps us as a people to share our culture. So what I've seen, you know, because I've been intimately involved in sailing. You know, we've named it the national sport, like the director said. And not only that, is we've invested in our children. So we give, I think it's 8 young programs. We provide them with funding or a stipend every year to assist with their development of the young people. But as you sail, whether you're from Long Island or Exuma or Andros or Eleuthera, Grand Bahama, when you sail with the sailors, a lot of times you'll see persons from different islands sailing on one boat sometimes. So you'll see a skipper from Long Island on a Black Point vessel with someone to ride the pride from Andros. And so you have these jokes and entertainment and multicultural experiences with one another. So it brings people together. And you know, because sometimes I think we forget that even as a country, we still are a family of islands, and we should act like that.
And the camaraderie as well, because you would hear many persons say, you know, I built that boat from another island and their team, and or I assisted with that type thing. So it's really just amazing. Gentlemen, I want to ask you, how is technology being introduced? You know, everything is about technology now. What is local government doing to ensure that its practitioners, those who are in charge on various family islands, tap into this to help move things forward with greater ease even?
Right, so the Ministry of Works and local government understands that digitization and technology is important to connect one another. You've seen it at our Best of the Best, and I want to commend the director and his team to having a vision to say, look, that we can do things differently. So you'll see drone footage that so persons
it's
unsure.
Stunning, right? Best of the best. Truly, you all have created magic at Best of the Best, because those drone shots, those overhead shots. When I worked it one year, the visitors even, you know, the big screens you all have out there at Montague.
And it's live.
And it's live. It's so awesome. And they stand there and they look at it, and then the replay and just the beautiful blue ocean and the wonderful white boats that dot the ocean. Just stunning. So stunning. Just congratulations for whoever did it, and the fact that it gets bigger every year. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and they start to use GoPros with the skippers on the boats so you can feel the experience, right? Because most Bahamians probably will never sail as a sailor, and they get to feel that experience, and they utilize technology for the scoreboard, so you can actually at the site see the scoreboard, see where your favorite boat, the boat you're rooting for, where they place, and you could go on your phone and see where they place. So you know, technology has played a intimate role in how we portray regattas and festivals, and you know, the PR team there helps to tell the story, because this is a story about the island, and when you're in Rock Sound, you want to tell about the people, you know, because the people in Rock Sound have a different accent and a different way of life, and everything's different. You know, from the people in James Siston, or the people in Bogue, or the people in Exuma, or the people in Abaco.
Eleuthera, the island of a million accents.
A million, at least that. You know, mine has to change every now and depending
where
I am.
So I noticed. So wherever you are in Eleuthera, there's something different. But gentlemen, I want to know, you know, local government is an amazing program that was introduced to this nation. It has grown, it has morphed, it has become what's needed for now. What should it look like, you all feel, 10 years from now for the Bahamas then?
Take that.
I think where we are now, 30 years ago, we must now look at the next 10 years. And like the minister said, the 2024 Local Government Act has the fine print to propel local government to the next 10 years. We look at the election, and the election is similar to the election of the general election.
It is, yeah.
But the only difference is because of the They are polling stations now instead of constituencies. So we look at letting or giving the locals more authority, more power to decide where the community moves forward. You now have to be able to sit with your constituents, just like my minister will do, and dialogue with your constituents on where you want this community to move forward or where you want this island to move. And I encourage the administrators and chief councillors on these islands to have a quarterly meeting, not to look at your district, but to look at the entire island and moving those islands forward. And I think that's what we need moving to the next 10 years, that camaraderie with all of the districts and the administrators working together to move that island forward, and not a district, because you don't want to leave the island and the district is moving ahead.
Right, right.
Right. So I think, Shanique, over the next 10 years, local government was created, and I'll piggyback off the director. Local government was created to bring government closer to the people. But just like yesterday, the Prime Minister at a symposium on technology
Yes.
and influences
Yes.
and all of that, right? And a lot of that, a part of it was integrating AI into being a part of that. So I think the vision wasn't necessarily be driven by government, but I think it would be an acceptance that technology will do what local government was created to bring government closer to the people. So I think that I envision in 5 to 10 years that AI will read building plans in a few minutes, and whether or not it meets the criteria for approval. I envision that technology will bring us so close and will move things so quick that we have to ensure that the young people of this country play a role, and they will want to be a part of it because it will talk the same language as what we speak in regards to technology, innovation, and integration. So I think that, the Prime Minister was on the right message, and I think we could piggyback off of that and integrate AI and youth development and transforming really how we do business in the Bahamas.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly will add more and bring us all up to where the rest of the world is as we march our own pace in moving forward throughout this nation. And so Bahamians, Minister and Director, have every reason to still believe that local government works and that it's necessary moving forward.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I just think that, with anything that's good for the people, it involves involvement, it involves being a part of development, it involves moving and changing with the times if needed.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
I think you're the only candidate so far who's been able to come on and actually respond to their temperature check. And so you have anything you want to say, I'll give you an opportunity.
Thanks, Shanique. I just want to say that over the past 5 years, I've enjoyed representing the people of Central and South Eleuthero. I love the people in Central and South Eleuthero, and I am grateful for the time served, and I look forward to serving you in the future as your next Member of Parliament.
I thank you, Minister Clay Sweeting. I thank you, Director Donald Roll, for being here again. This show has been 1 hour of local government, looking at the 30-year history of local government and obviously forecasting for what's ahead as the Minister and the Director see an entity of government that continues to grow and continues to morph into what the Bahamian people need for that time and that day. Thank you both once again for being here. I want to say a big thank you to all of you this evening for tuning in. It's certainly been awesome having you join me this evening. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.